The meaning of the word Ayayásh, to my understanding, means... Some people use it differently. Some people use it in a mean way, which is like calling you dumb or stupid. But it could also mean that somebody just doesn't understand or doesn't get something that's new to them. So if you don't understand something, you're being Ayayásh about it. But if you're going to use it in a rude way or a mean way, don't talk to them, they're just Ayayásh. They're stupid. Yeah.
Can you tell us the story of Ayayásh?
Yes, I'll tell you the story of Ayayásh. So, a long time ago, there was a young girl, and she was different from all the other kids, and she would get teased a lot, and they would call her Ayayásh. One day when she was learning to make baskets, she made a basket without any designs, and all the other kids and all the other folks in her village that she was staying with, they said, "Hey, how come she didn't put any designs in her basket? She must be Ayayásh." And she really didn't like that, and that made her feel really bad. She didn't like being teased, and nobody likes being teased, so she spent a lot of time by herself. And as she was alone one time in the forest, after being teased so much, she started to cry, and then a tree heard her cry, a cedar tree. And the cedar tree asked her, "Hey, are you okay? What's going on? Why are you so depressed?" And the little girl said, "Well, I get teased a lot, and everybody thinks I'm Ayayásh because I didn't put any designs in my basket, and it's a pretty blank." So the tree says, "You know what? You can put designs in your basket. You can still change things. You could make things better for yourself. Why don't you learn a little bit more and just look into nature, observe things around you, and you'll find designs real fast." Now, the little girl didn't understand what the tree was talking about, because we don't notice things that are around us all the time. When she went out into the forest, she's like, "I'll never find any designs. There's no designs here in nature. This is a stupid mission to go find designs. That doesn't make any sense. What's going to happen really is I'll still be called Ayayásh, and nobody will ever help me." So she was feeling really, really depressed, and she went on this journey not knowing what was going to happen. She ran into a rattlesnake, and the rattlesnake says, "Hey, watch where you're going. I could have killed you, because, what are you, Ayayásh or something?" And then she says, No, I'm really sorry about that, but I'm out here looking for designs." And the rattlesnake says, "Hello, didn't you notice that there are designs on my back? There's a diamond design, and it's here to remind people that I am dangerous. I'm a rattlesnake, and if I bite you, I could kill you." And she says, "Oh yeah, that's right. I totally forgot that you have diamonds on your back." And then the rattlesnake suggests to her, "Hey, you should use your design in the basket. That would be really cool." So she does. She uses the design in her basket. Later, she goes on her journey looking for more designs, and she runs into a butterfly. And she says, "I just really like the way you look, butterfly, but could you help me find some designs to put in my basket?" And the butterfly says, "What are you, Ayayásh or something?" And she says, "What?" The girl says, "Didn't you notice that there's lots of neat colors and designs on the wings of me?" The butterfly shows off the wings. She says, "Oh yeah, there are really neat designs. And you have a really cool triangular shape." Because we see things all the time, sometimes we don't notice all the neat things around us. And I think that's a part of the story, that Ayayásh would see things and dismiss them because we're so used to them. But the animals helped her see that there's designs all around us. So she has designs in her basket now. She returns home. She returns to the cedar tree, and she says, "Look, I went out in nature, and I actually found designs." And the tree says, "I knew you could do it. You're a smart girl." And then she goes back to her village, and she shows everybody her basket, and everybody are really impressed with all the design work that she'd come up with. And then she shared her stories about how she got them, and then people were really, really impressed with all her progress because they thought she was incapable of doing it. But because she took it upon herself and she took a chance on going on that journey, she found all those designs. And then now people don't call her Ayayásh anymore because she went on this journey and she learned all those neat things. And I think that's the majority of the story of Ayayásh.
Who taught you the story and what was the lesson learned?
I heard this story from one of my teachers when I was still in high school. When I heard the story, I could identify with it because I had been called things that I didn't exactly understand. And it wasn't Ayayásh until I heard the story. But people would say, doesn't he know how this stuff works? Doesn't he know that this is not the way we do things over here? Because I didn't grow up here in this area. So when I would hear different things about, I'll say for instance, I grew up in Phoenix, which is a large city, and we would ride the bus everywhere, and we didn't have to have a car. And when I moved here to Toppenish, Washington, I wanted to go do things on my own, because I was a young guy who liked to do things on his own. I said, I'll just catch a bus over there. Where are you going, Mike? Oh, I'm going to the store. I'll catch a bus. I'll be back. And I'd go out there, and I'd be walking for hours looking for bus stops, and they weren't there. Now they're there. Now we have the Pato crossing, but then they didn't. That was a very neat Ayayásh moment that I had, now that I think about it. So when I heard the story in high school, like, wow, I can really identify. I made a lot of mistakes, and people have called me Ayayásh in a way. So when I heard it, I thought, oh, this is a really neat story of learning how to get over that being teased. And I think that's what the meaning of the story is, having strength and believing in yourself that you can learn, and you don't have to give up when people make fun of you. And you can always learn something and come back and show everybody what you learned, and they won't make fun of you anymore. So that's one of the meanings of Ayayásh, I think.
Was there a different version of the story?
Yes, I'm pretty sure there was. And it's even different the way that I tell it. I think stories evolve when they're told from storyteller to storyteller, just like that cool little game we play, Telephone. The story changes a little bit. And I think there are probably other versions of the story that concentrate on different things. I think the part of Ayayásh that talks about the rattlesnake, there's probably more to that. And I remember hearing it differently. And there's also different versions with different animals and different designs. And I think that just comes from whoever knows the story and knows design work. They would use different parts of different animals and different sections of the story of Ayayásh.